No, the quiz you will be seeing is from the original user. To avoid copyright issue, I cut out the parts from the original video and added with a different effect. That way it will not cause any copyright issues. Basically, no, I just cut out from the original video, not the full part. I hope this will be helping for the YouTube community and enjoy the video. Enjoy.
You see the sunrise, a new day's upon you. You bite your nails and you need something trouble. The time is upon you to show them what you can do, and soon they will know that the day has come. Knows that we are gifted just for being who is we are. For being who is we are. Into the night, I hear a storm. And then to the wind is what I believe in. And then to the wind is what I believe. I'm moving. I feel the pressure of the storm. That's all I need. So many names and faces. So many fights that I'm not places. And every day I walk waiting and waiting. No, I'm not too brave. I'm gonna take a stand. I've been brave. I'm telling you I leave. Finally take my day.
Throughout mankind, many people use weapons for defense, or based on attack. These weapons that includes guns, swords, mace, axe, and even surprising unknown weapons such as chainsaws, surprisingly a lawnmower, and there's several weapons that many people use. But there's one typical weapon that no one else in the world can ever seem to use as a weapon. A fan. Now at best, the fan used to, let's say, blow you from the wind and also keep you heated. But personally, when outside of that, it's been used to be as a weapon throughout fighting games or even animated movies such as Mulan. Personally now, the fan may be fake, but the fan is pretty much an industry weapon to use in combat scenarios while in a tournament or basing out in any situations. Just as these two combatants. Kitana, the princess of Edenia / Outworld, and the Revenant Empress of Netherrealm of Mortal Kombat. And Mai Shiranui, the mistress of fire, the spirit of the Mai Shiranui clan, and also, no pun intended, the queen of fighters in the SNK King of Fire series. Now for the sake of the episode, will be not be including the non-canon versions of each character. That means we'll not be including the movie recognition or the crossovers, which on their own is basing out a different source. And for this one, we'll not be using scaling as well. If we use scaling, then basing out what the purpose of bringing these two. That way, we think it fight at best in their canon versions. My name is DeadSoul24, and my job to analyze these two combatants to see who will win in a deadly duo. In the world of Mortal Kombat, facing up it ain't no joke. The Mortal Kombat tournament is a chance of fate where a round say live or another to die. Personally, it was created by the Elder Gods to see which round was bring superior. If they lost, then the conqueror Shao Kahn must conquer a realm, so he can slay it all to create his universe while based on an army of his own legions. That includes the realm of Edenia. Now, realm of Edenia is a pretty peaceful realm, based on it's kind of like the version of our Atlantis, well, the official one or the real one, depending on the lore. But anyways, Edenia was participating in the tournament Mortal Kombat. However, due to their 10 loss streak, the realm was eventually conquered by Shao Kahn, and even their own king died. Now, for those who don't know, Shao Kahn is a ruler outworld. He used to be an enforcer for Shao Kahn, well, based in Onaga, and eventually he killed the former emperor of, well, based on outworld, and become the new ruler of it. And basically enough, he is able to conquer the realm of Edenia, even killing King Jareth, and basically on forcing his own wife, well, based on Sindel, to become his own, and his daughter, well, yeah. But you pretty much know what the story goes to. Basically now, to be sure that Sindel will not be Shao Kahn's wife, she committed suicide. However, with that, she might cause her own daughter to join him because, well, she was an infant at that time and she don't know what's been going on. So basically now, Kitana was trained by Shao Kahn over 10,000 years and known as the, well, quote-unquote, daughter of Shao Kahn. However, Kitana will figure out that she wasn't actually the daughter of Shao Kahn from both timelines. And for the result from this, easy enough, Kitana rebels against Shao Kahn and joined the Light of Good alongside with Liu Kang, Kung Lao, Sonya Blade, and Jack and Queen Raiden. Basically now, she feel like she able to save Edenia once more. Well, with her timeline, of course. But currently later on in Mortal Kombat history, we all know what happened next. Basically enough, from being the president of Edenia to a Revenant of Quan Chi / Ubisoft and Shinnok, and then being an Empress along with Liu Kang as her emperor / husband on the Netherrealm. Personally enough, due to her experience at 10,000 years, she spent a lot of combat training and basically on developing some techniques as well. Oh yeah, just heads up, there's gonna be a lot of them, so prepare yourselves for a very long list of abilities that she has for herself. Basically now, of course, she's a master of hand-to-hand combat training due to the long experience with Shao Kahn and Edenia, knowing that she also tries to have win relation, knowing that she has for MKX fairies such as Royal Storm, Assassin, and Morphle, and one of those abilities is Fan Throw, where it showed one of her fans. And the throw toss did the same, but the only difference is that she used two fans one by one, knowing that she also surprised had the square wave punch, which every character have in the original timeline, knowing that she also had the fan lift, which she used her own fans and surprisingly controlled the wind, lifting her opponents up to the air and make some incredible combos in my opinion. Personally, it's actually kind of smart. Doing that, she also did a fence swap where Kitana swapped her opponent with her raising sharp fan, knowing that she had a pretty kick, which Kitana flows toward her opponent with multiple kicks. And no, it's not like Liu Kang's bicycle kick or Sonya Blade's kick or whatever it is. But speaking of which, she also can able to teleport with her pixie dust teleport, where she disappears in the flying cloud and reappears behind her opponent. She also had a Roaring Fury, where she rolls under her opponent and turns them up, knowing that she also had the Cut Fan, or Cutting Fan, where she splits both of her fans around her, dealing damage of if the opponent touches her. Plus, she also had the Fake Out Kick, where she splits one way then reverses to a kick the opponent into the, well, based on the sky as well. Knowing that, she also had the Racing Fan, when she sliced the opponent with both of her fans lifting up as well. Knowing that she halted the throat slice, and basically enough, this is not a fatality by the way, lifts at her opponent and sliced their throat with her fans. Wow, that's dark. But anyways, she also had the air float, where she could actually lift her so up while airbending somehow. And like a Mortal Kombat character, she had S-Ray, which is two actually, the Fantastic and the Slice and Dice. Know that she surprisingly can transport to an immortality, and yes, that's a thing. And her immortality is a bunny. And to be honest, yes, she's kind of lame. But she make up with her brutalities with her off the top, biggest fan, back that up, Lost Girl, as all in. Well, let's be for real. every Mortal Kombat character had one thing and one thing only: the fatalities, such as her Kiss of Death. And while Sonya Blade may be the first, but none stand a chance against Kitana's Kiss of Death, knowing that she also had the fan slice, the scissor split, toaster rip, face impale, fan opener, spinning headache, dark fantasy, that dark web, and spinning hairs. Basic enough, Kitana had 3 different arsenals, such as her steel fans. Her steel fans is pretty much her signature weapon, and like I said in the power ability category, it could do well based on wind manipulation. But besides that, she had her Benshu, which is a bow, and a Gurren, which is a boomerang. And to be honest, it actually represents as a morpho because she is mourning her friend Jay's death. Yeah. Well, that was friendship of that. There was a thing with friendship. Anyways, she had plenty of feats to get her on top. She able to trick Shao Kahn into thinking that she is still his ally. She even once defeated Melina twice and then killed her in one time in the original timeline, knowing that she also escaped prison after her own mother resurrection as well, thanks to Liu Kang, of course. And with alongside with Jade, they were able to defeat Reptile. Plus, she was able to overpower and defeat Giant Cage and Smoke, which at their best, that Giant managed to defeat Sonya Blade, Baraka, Reptile, and also Kano. And Smoke easily defeated Kitana also, but he also defeated Quan Chi, based on several. And knowing that as a Revenant, she was able to defeat Serena and became the Empress of Netherrealm as well. However, Kitana isn't actually perfect. Due to her fight style, she struggles with opening opponents up, knowing that she also lives if certain attacks are blocked. Also, she had defeated by several opponents before, such as Sonya Blade, Liu Kang, Smoke, Sindel, Raiden, Jack, and Cassie Cage. Plus, despite all this, I think she had mother issues as well. Despite this, besides the flaws, Kitana had proven time and time again she is tailored on many opponents at her level, such as Shang Tsung and also many more. So overall, Kitana had proven time and time again she is able to take on anything. And at the end of the day, do not underestimate the Princess of Edenia and the Empress of the Netherrealm, Kitana.
Kitana wins.
The King of Fighters tournament is known for its many fighters. And fun fact about the game and such tournament, it used to be called Fatal Fury, but I'm guessing the King of Fighters sounds right. But anyways, the King of Fighters was basically known as the art of fighting, and centered around and even temporarily supported by Geese Howard, which he'll be the main boss. But we're not talking about these characters today, we're talking about the main character, Mai Shiranui. Basically enough, Mai Shiranui is the granddaughter of Hanzo Shuri, the master of ninjutsu and Kippoken. Basically enough, Mai Shiranui was determined to continue her great-grandfather's legacy. Basically enough, she learned everything from her father, the secrets of ninjutsu, and basically enough, was trained under her grandfather as well, and Goose trained by her grandfather's friend. Despite as a based on SNK / King of Fighters sexist, based on the most sexiest fighter on the tournament, she's pretty much a dangerous foe. With the career Fire, basically enough, she's a ninja and Harris of the Shuri clan. And that's the thing, it's kinda like the ninja school, but basically enough controlling fire. Basically enough, in her ways of decades of fighting, basically enough, all her abilities is pyrokinesis. Pyrokinesis means for controlling fire. So basically enough, she can control fire to create her special moves. Know that she can use her seduction to, I can't believe I had to say it, with her sexual beauty to distract her opponent, unless it's male. Know that she also has hammer space where she can hit or pull a weapon from her clothing, surprisingly. And remember, says Pyro needs to create her abilities. Basically now she uses it in her own, such as Gosuken, where Mai throw one of her fans at her opponent, the Hitcher Shibuki, where she performed a cartwheel kick before following up with a flaming elbow strike. Know that she also has the Fuzuko, which Mai grabs the opponent with her legs, flies over them and then slams them into the ground. Basically enough, it's pretty interesting in one term. Knowing that she also has the Tsubuko, where Mai grabs her opponent and then knee drops them, laying a very far away. Basically enough, that even makes Tekken feel a little bit silly. Knowing that she also had the Suko, where she performed a heavy swing with her own fans. Knowing that she also had the Rupo, where she performed a spinning front, causing flames to sprout in front of the toes on her clothes. Knowing that she also had the Burning Mai, where she able to unleash a torch of flame that sends her opponents flying back. Knowing that she also had the Swallowing Fury, Mai performed a flipping blade kick. Knowing that she had the Dragon Flame Rump, where she spins through the air and striking her opponent with a fire-infused Curbstone. It's sure it's a not very combo as well. Knowing that she also had the Tsuko, where she performed a fairy sermon kick. Knowing that she had the Musu no Mai, where she leaps toward the wall to perform a wall dive attack. Knowing that she had the Shiryu Agui, where it's much more powerful than surprisingly the Musu Mai, in a powerful way, of course, in terms of based out the difference between her original attack and her boost one as well. She also had the Blossom Storm, where she began spinning rapidly, performing a miniature hurricane can only be used in water, surprisingly, for no reason. Knowing that she also had a Mai, where she spins around with her fans outstretched, hitting around any surrounding opponents. Knowing that she also had a Mai, where she throws 3 Katoon and infused them with fire as well, increasing damage. She also has the Mai, where she leaps into the air, performs a fiery cartwheel by her opponent, and basically not rapidly before kicking away. Knowing that she has the Mai, where she surrounds herself in a coating of flames, and even surprisingly dealing massive damage to her nearby opponents into flames, literally and literally. But despite that, her ultimate attack is her Shuri-Ryu Kodo no Mai, where she strikes her opponent. Then she later uses her speed to attack from multiple directions. Afterwards, she strikes a pose, launching a Screen Wave Fireball. In short, it's a flame version of the Akuma's Shuriken, even though Akuma is from Capcom. And basically enough with all that, Mai have her sister weapons, the Shuin. You see, Mai used them for both long and close range attacks, and when she used them in her fights, she can even infuse them with fire for more greater power. And plus, for the sake of this episode, it's also known called as the Butterfly Fans, in English of course. Mai had plenty of feats that it will surprise her own way. Basically enough, she formed the women's team in the SNK King of Fighters tournament. Knowing that she also kicked her down a fire stairs with Rukan, outran Black Noah's explosion. Knowing that she continued fighting Lin even after she been hit hard enough that even left her coughing up her blood. Knowing that she had to defeat opponents such as Duke, Penny, William Merck, and even Jirma. And surprisingly, above all, of course, she's one of the first King of Fighters / Fatal Furious female characters. Is one of the sexiest females in the legacy of fight games. Well, besides Ivy Valentine, of course, and Black Orchid. But despite this, Mai had plenty of flaws. Despite having some wins on her belt, she never actually won any King of Fire tournaments, knowing that with her cocky attitude during a fight, it would often lead to prolonging the fight, basically cause her mistakes, and even sometimes somewhat dizzy at some points. Plus, despite this, she had a really pathetic win and loss record. If I were to say nice, Mai is one of the most interesting and one of the most, well, no pun intended, a really hottest characters in SNK Fire series. Even though she does need some help from opponents such as Andy, but let's be honest here, Mai is one of the sexiest and toughest SNK Fires in all time, and you better aware you should not touch with this fire. Alright, combatants have been done analyzed. Before I reveal who's the winner, let's see the votes you guys voted, the percentage. Alright, let's go! Well, this is a pretty close one. For Kitana, she gets 46.2%, and Mai gets 53.8% of the voting. And surprisingly, each one of them gets 13 votes. So it's pretty close, because based on Kitana gets 6 votes, and Mai gets 7. So this is almost a pretty close one. But there's only one comment, so let's get to that, shall we? Let's go. Found the new MG, or hashtag plant gang, the IDK, which means I don't know. Well, to be fair, the new MG, it's okay if you don't know a character you know. But anyways, that's only a comment that I have for this episode. So let's get to the winner, shall we? Let's go. And the winner between the female combatants with fans as their weapon is Kitana. Yeah, it ain't surprising for this one, but I feel like I've raised a lot of Mai Shiranui fans. Oh boy. Basically enough, look, I can simply easily let Mai win because she's a favorite character to SNK Fine King of Fighters game. But personally, I had to go with my gut for this one. I'll explain everything why Kitana wins the fight. Then when we get to the characters. Alright, for speed, it's pretty a little bit interesting. One at best, Kitana and Mai are at best somewhere in the super sonic level, but at the end, Mai gets the speed advantage. She's been improving ever since, plus she massive hypersonic, where she can able to keep up with our fires, such as Lightning's explosion, and also escaping Nest base, when Berserker gets exploding course. So she gets speed. Now for screen, it's pretty obvious I should put it with Kitana. Now, even though the Mai is Mount City level, but at best, it's just only from power scaling to characters such as Sonic Coin and Terry Bogard, which both of them have fought small city level, but for this one I'm not doing power scaling. But for Kitana, she fought several opponents such as Giant King and Shang Tsung, which she shakes on a young age. So basically now, the strength range I'm getting to is Kitana. Same with intelligence. Okay, one at best that both of them are average, but the only difference is that Mai it's just basically not just too cocky to her opponents. That basically led to her losses on free fires. Kitana may have lost some fights, but she has much more experience, and thanks to her training from both of Shao Kahn and also becoming the next line, and a lot of experience on combat. So basically now she definitely gets intelligence as well. It also the same with experience. Mai may face off with many opponents such as Duke, Penta, Suku, and Zoma, and well, Sabai and has experience to other powerful opponents, but Kitana had a lot of superior experience thanks to her age of being at 10,000 years old. Basically now, that makes her much more experienced in combat training. So basically now, the experience match I'm getting to is Kitana. And for durability, it's actually pretty close. basically enough, if we were to talk about the Revenant Kitana, then she definitely gets the durability. But we're talking about human Kitana. But at the end, Mai did get the durability because she was able to take hits from characters on her level, even above her. So basically enough, she gets quite much more durability than anything. Unlike Kitana, she easily gets killed, so Mai gets durability. So while at best that Mai may be fast and can able to survive many beatings, but this ain't a fighter that Mai ever faced before, because thanks to Kitana's strength, intelligence, and experience, she wants to fight. And if you really think about it, Mai always needs some help to win her fights. And Kitana can do the same, but the only difference is she fought on her own but with deadly victims. So at the end, it was a fantastic victory. The winner is Kitana.